third week. President Trump is again warning the U.S. could take military action in response to the regime's treatment of protesters. Here's more.
President Trump says Iran's leadership is seeking negotiations after he warned of possible military action, speaking on Air Force One.
Yesterday, the leaders of Iran called they want to negotiate. I think they're tired of being beat up by the United States.
As massive protests rock the country, President Trump says he is weighing a range of responses to escalating unrest, including possible military options.
There seem to be some people killed that aren't supposed to be killed. These are violent. If you call them leaders, I don't know if they're leaders or just they rule through violence. But we're looking at it very seriously. The military is looking at it. And we're looking at some very strong options.
The Iranian parliament speaker on Sunday warned the U.S. against what he called a miscalculation.
Know that in case of an attack on Iran, the occupied lands, as well as U.S. military bases in the region, will be our legitimate targets.
Trump responded to Iran's threat of retaliation.
If they do that, we will hit them at levels that they've never been hit before. And they won't even believe it.
Trump also said yesterday that he plans to speak with Elon Musk about restoring internet in Iran. Authorities have blacked out services since Thursday.
Well, we're going to be talking about that. We may get the internet going, if that's possible. We may speak to Elon, because as you know, he's very good at that kind of thing. He's got a very good company.
Iran's current protests began on December 28th in response to soaring prices before turning against the Islamic regime that has governed since the 1979 revolution. A human rights group said yesterday the ongoing unrest has killed more than 500 people. The U.S.-based group Human Rights Activists in Iran said it had verified the deaths of 490 protesters and 48 security personnel. It also said more than 10,000 people have been arrested in the 2 weeks of unrest. Meanwhile, Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi, the exiled son of Iran's last Shah, has called on Iranians to continue their protests. And in Los Angeles, chaos yesterday during a protest against the Iranian regime. Police say a man drove a U-Haul through a crowd of protesters. A sign on the side of the truck said, "No Shah, no regime, USA don't repeat 1953, a reference to the 1953 coup instigated by the U.S. government and the Shah. 2 people suffered minor injuries. Protesters surrounded the truck and began smashing the vehicle's windows. Police said they detained the driver pending further investigation. They did not publicly identify him. It's unclear whether the event was an intentional attack.
War Secretary Pete Hegseth is traveling to Brownsville, Texas today for a speech alongside Elon Musk. According to a War Department press release, the two will speak to SpaceX leaders and staff. The department also said the secretary would, quote, administer the oath of enlistment to the next generation of American warfighters. Hegseth will also visit Lockheed Martin on his trip. To discuss the latest on the Iranian protests, joining us is Brian Lieb, foreign policy analyst and CEO of Henry Public Relations. Good to have you as always, Brian. I just want to ask you to start off here. Iranian officials have said that in the case of an Iranian attack, the occupied territories, as well as all U.S. bases and ships, will be our legitimate target. We just reported on this in the previous package. What does this mean to you, Brian?
Don, good to be back with you. Listen, the Islamic Republic of Iran is one big paper tiger at this point. They can't even get the protests that are happening inside of Iran under control right now. They publicly have admitted that they don't have the capacity to get these protests under control. So, you know, they can threaten all they want about, you know, what they potentially might be able to do. But at the end of the day, they don't have the capabilities that they like to brag about and like the world to think that they have. So I think it's all talk, to be honest with you.
Okay, with that being said, Brian, do you think this statement comes from a place of nervousness, perhaps? It doesn't seem like it's from a place of confidence, or perhaps it's something else. What do you think?
You're exactly correct, Don. That's a great read on that. This is not coming from a place of strength. This is coming from a place of weakness. The regime is, by the way, they're not just weak in the sense of millions of people all throughout Iran taking to the streets, protesting, burning Iranian IRGC buildings to the ground. They're weak in the sense that they don't have any money left. The Iranian rial is at the lowest level it has ever been before. And that's how, this latest round of protests started, is because the Iranian economy was running out of money. So again, they have never been this weak. Everything that they're doing right now is coming from a position of weakness. I just think, the images and the videos that we see on our screen right now, as someone myself that's been advocating on behalf of the Iranian people for a long time now, these women, these men, they're just so brave in what they're doing. And I think we're just they are just so close to finally breaking free from this regime once and for all.
Okay, you're saying they're close to breaking free. Can you just speak then to how significant are these protests right now? Are they different than protests before this?
Yeah, and I'm glad you asked that. And I think I'd also like to take the opportunity just to say that maybe all of us should stop calling these protests, because at this point, this is a full-blown revolution in the making right now. I have never seen the Iranian people taking to the streets in these mass numbers and in so many cities. It's not just small, cities that are, 50 or 100 miles away from Tehran. A lot of the images and videos that you're seeing on the screen right now, they're coming from Tehran, from Iran's capital. So this is just, it's so meaningful. This is the largest revolution that we have seen in years. And I just think, again, I think they're so close right now. And the one thing that's always been missing on the Iranian people's behalf is they've never had a real champion, whether it was in the White House or the EU, or someone that just has so much power and so much influence. And we've seen what President Trump has been saying now, leading up to where we're at in today's world against Iran. He's standing by the Iranian people, and that in itself is so powerful, and it's led to the moments that we're seeing now. So we'll see what President Trump does next. I think something big is coming, but at the end of the day, this revolution is happening, of course, because of the bravery and courage of the Iranian people, but also because President Trump has stood up and he's supporting the Iranian people.
Okay, so with President Trump's support and his remarks on what he would do if the Iranian regime starts killing protesters, and with you saying that this is a full-blown revolution, how worried is the Iranian regime right now about these protests being able to threaten its survival or its rule?
Yeah, I think they're extremely concerned, and one of the biggest reasons that they are so concerned, of course, they're concerned about what President Trump might do. They're concerned about what the Israelis might do. But again, they literally are running out of money. The Iranian economy is on the brink of collapse right now. There is no money to go around, and that's always how this regime, Don, has stayed in power, is because they had enough money to push around to the inner circle of the IRGC to keep people from revolting, and also to push IRGC people out into the streets to kill their own compatriots. They don't have any money right now. That's a big issue for a country like Iran, of 80 million people. But I think President Trump is going to act. I think we've seen what his track record is, and he's going to stand up and support the Iranian people. I wouldn't be surprised if within the next 12 to 24 to 48 hours, there's some very, very serious U.S. offensives against IRGC sites, really designed to cripple this regime once and for all. That's really all it's going to take at this point. Again, the Iranian people have never gathered at this level in the capital of Tehran like this. So it's just a matter of the IRGC being weak enough, and I think the Iranian people are going to take over.
Okay, so we know President Trump's stance, his position on this, and his support, but I don't want to forget about Elon Musk's Starlink's role in Iran and the importance of it as protests continue amid an internet blackout, right, imposed by officials. So how important is the flow of information and Starlink right now to these protests?
I think Starlink is just so critical right now, because the Iranians, in partnership with the Chinese, the CCP, and the Russians, they have been, there's been no internet now inside of the Islamic Republic of Iran for, I think at least 3 or 4 or 5 days now. So the only way that anything is getting out is because of Starlink. From what I heard this morning, it sounds like there are operations underway to get even more Starlink capabilities going inside of Iran right now. But yeah, it's mission critical for more Starlink to be there.
Yeah, and President Trump said he's working to try to restore internet in Iran. Well, Brian Leib, foreign policy and analyst and CEO of Henry Public Relations, thank you very much for speaking with us today.
Thanks so much, Don. Talk to you soon.
Yeah. President Trump says relations with Venezuela's leadership are working out well. He was speaking to reporters aboard Air Force One yesterday, saying he plans to meet with Venezuela's interim president, Delcy Rodriguez.